Mastering Hanon Exercises Volume 1. In this DVD, I'm going to give you a visual demonstration of Hanon's first 10 exercises. Now these are proven to increase your technical facility and technique. Whether it's accuracy or speed that you need, these accomplish both of those things. A little bit about me. My name is James Rubel. I'm a professional jazz pianist working in the Los Angeles area. And when I train classically, I use these all the time. I still use them as a jazz pianist, and I recommend you do too. What I have for you are some extra tips that you need to make it a little bit more interesting and also to grow and improve as fast as you can. These are proven, and every pianist either uses these exercises or something like them to get their technique where it needs to be. Now, whether you're a gospel, jazz, rock, pop, or classical pianist, everyone needs something to maintain their technique. I want to stress that this is something to be used as an adjunct, as something that's additional to your daily practice. These exercises aren't something that you should be playing for hours and hours at a time. What these Hanon exercises are going to allow you to do is to play things that you hear, either in your head or in other music, and to make you play as fast and as well as you can. Remember, fast isn't good unless you're hitting the right notes. Hanon is going to do both of those things. But Hanon, again, is an adjunct. Music is an athletic pursuit, and Hanon is pretty strenuous on your hands and your fingers and your body. So I'm going to tell you some things to always pay attention to while you're playing Hanon. Relaxation is a big one of those things, but this is what you need to get your playing where you need to be. Let's get started. Exercise 1. This is the exercise that most pianists know and your first step to building that Hanon foundation to improving your technique. Let's go ahead and take a look at the keyboard. The first thing to show you is that all Hanon exercises move from the bottom C 2 octaves below middle C and up to the G. There's the G above middle C, 1 octave above the G above middle C. This is the range that Hanon moves between. I'm never going to play you an exercise that doesn't start on this C and go from the top down from this G. Hanon exercises play the same idea in the right hand as the left hand. Now when you're playing Hanon exercises, if you're right hand dominant, your right hand is probably going to be stronger than your left hand is. That's not a bad thing. It just means that your left hand is going to dictate the tempo at which you practice. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this first exercise. Now this first Hanon exercise has the first 4 notes being C, E, F, and G. The second 4 notes of the first bar just go down from A. We've got A, G, F, and E. If you want to block those notes, you play them all at once. The first 4 notes are C, E, F, G. Second 4 notes, A, G, F, E. So, fingering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. So again, C, E, F, G, and then A, G, F, E. Same thing in your left hand. You're going to use 5 and 4 as your first 2 fingers. Otherwise, you can't reach up to A on your thumb. We just don't have enough fingers. We've got C, E, F, G, up to your thumb on the A, G, F, E. Now, that's the first measure. Because we're in C major, we're never going to play any other notes that aren't in the scale. That's the C major scale. In all of these Hanon exercises, when we start it in C major, those are the only notes that you're going to play. Hanon exercises just have them in different combinations. Let's go ahead and try to put the hands together. Again, the first 2 fingers in your right hand are 1 and 2, and your left hand, it's 5 and 4 on that E. Now you should be ending on your 4th and your 2nd on those E's. And what does that allow you to do? It allows you to move up to D. What it is a transposed idea. So you take the same thing, you hop up the 3rd to the F, and play the notes next to it. We've got G, A, and remember we went up to the next note and down 4. So we go to B and go back down. A, G, F. At the end of the exercise, you notice that my fingers landed on E, and I need to start the same idea on D. That's the whole point. He wrote one idea starting on C, then you started on D, then you started on E, then you started on F. We're just going up the C major scale. Let's go ahead one more time and connect the two ideas together. So again, the first idea, we've got C, E, F, G, A, G, F, E, and then we start the same idea again, and it's just transposed up. So let's start on C, E, F, G, A, G, F, E. Same thing, now we're going to go to D. D. Skip the note, go to F. We're on all white keys, we're in C major. G, A, B, A, G, F. If you're not on your fourth finger in your left hand and your second finger in your right hand, you've done something wrong. Now we do the same thing on E. Jump up to G. Just play the notes in the C major scale that fit. And then we're down to F. You see how it works? Your fingers lay exactly where they need to be. Now you've gotten a quick look at the first Hanon pattern. The Hanon patterns go up 2 octaves. They go up to the G as I showed you, and then they come back down. What it does is invert the pattern. I'll go ahead and show that to you, but for right now, let me go ahead and stick the metronome on and show you that pattern going all the way up to that G. Again, the metronome is very, very important. You want to have good rhythm, and you also want to have both of your hands hitting the keys at the same time. If you can't do it, you're going too quickly. This is very slow. We've got 2 notes per beat. And here we go. Almost there. Now I'm at the top. Let's see how we go back down. Did you see how that pattern worked? Once I hit the top note of the pattern on the G and finished it up, now we've got to go down. Let's take a look. Now, I just played. We know we reached the top. Now, we finished the 8-note pattern. We're going to go back up to G. And remember the pattern skipped a note beginning when we went up? It's going to do the same thing here. Play 3 notes and play 4 notes to go up. Again, we've got 5 and 4 in my right hand and 1 and 2 for fingers in my left hand. G down to the E, 3 notes, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 notes next to each other, coming back up. Skip the note, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip the note, skip the note. Okay, now I'm playing it out of rhythm, but that's one of the many ways to practice it. So you should have an idea now. We got up to the top. Etc., etc. Eventually you'll get back down to here. And usually they end. This one will end just right on the end. Remember, these are 8-note ideas. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when you're playing with a metronome, remember that. You've got 8 notes per bar. Good job. Now that I've showed you the first basic pattern, let me go ahead and demonstrate practicing it at different speeds. There's a couple things I want to emphasize, though. When you play Hanon, you're not just looking to play it with the metronome. That's the hard part. 52 beats a minute where the metronome is right now. Now let me go ahead and show you how to practice this at certain speeds now that I've showed you the first Hanon exercise. One thing about Hanon is that it's only one part to play in time with the metronome. Those 2 notes per beat, or if you're filling the bar with 8th notes, is only one way to do it, and it's especially hard at this slow tempo. But what that does is make sure that your time is good. Actually, just because you can play fast doesn't always mean you can play slow. You have to know how to play slowly before you can play quickly. Let me go ahead and increase the metronome and give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Also, another thing to emphasize here, you want to have your fingers hitting the bottom of the notes at the same time. You also don't want to put any pressure into the keyboard after you play the note. There's no reason to do that. It's wasted energy. Once you've played the note, you don't need to press your fingers in anymore. Secondly, you can go ahead and rotate your wrist a little bit in the direction that you're moving, back and forth, and also lift your fingers pretty high. So again, to repeat, I'm not going to tell you this every time we do an exercise, but make sure your fingers are depressing the bottom of the keys in the same place at the same time. Number 2, you're lifting your fingers. And number 3, that you have smoothness in between notes. That means notes in the middle of the pattern aren't jumping out at you. If you noticed, I was pretty smooth, and then I sort of moved dynamically, or I became a little bit louder towards the top of the exercise, decrescendo down to the bottom, or got softer and got louder and softer. That's really what we're looking to accomplish here. We've got good technical facility, speed, accuracy, and good sound. If you're not getting good sound, why are you playing, right? Let's go ahead and now take a look with the metronome at different speeds. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is play through the whole exercise from bottom to top and back down to the bottom at 60 beats per minute. If you have a metronome for reference, I was at 52 last time you saw the keyboard. I'm going to go ahead now and demonstrate the whole thing to you at 60, 70, and 80 beats per minute. You might have to do some practicing in between there to get in between the different steps, but that's okay. These are some reference points for you. So let's go ahead and get the metronome going at 60. Remember, I'm skipping that first note. I'm going to go from C to E. 1 and 2 fingers in my right hand, 5 and 4 in my left. Here we go now. I'm going to move up to this high note, which is this one, and give it a little bit of shape. Now let's go down. I need to skip the note. And I'm almost done. And just end on the C. Good job. Remember to keep your wrist loose. I'm going to go ahead and move it to 70. It's very easy to freeze up when you're doing this. Keep using that ear to make sure you're where you want to be. Time-wise, it's a little bit faster. It's exciting. We're moving on. Let's go ahead. 3 and 4 and don't be afraid to start over. If your first couple beats weren't on with the metronome, that means You're just not ready to begin. That's okay. It's better to start off right than not. Nice high fingers. Keep that smooth, the same amount of energy into each note. If you want to use a word with it, the word would be pizza. The pizza, 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 to help you with your rhythm. You can hear that in your head. We're almost to the top. What happens now? We skip down. E,